And welcome back to the Dynasty Rewind, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Bauer. The best in the business is back in business. This is the moment that I'm sure you have all been anticipated, sitting on your couch in Canton, Ohio. So here we are. Week 5 is here for all to see. But before we get into it, I want to talk to you about our good friends over at dynastyowner.com. I've been looking for a new challenge, which is why I'm playing Dynasty Owner Fantasy Football this season. Let me tell you the great things about Dynasty Owner Fantasy Football. It unites the fun and excitement of fantasy football with the skill and strategy of the front office, something that Howie Roseman apparently knows nothing about. Dynasty Owner is the only way to play fantasy football with real NFL salaries, adding the strategy of running an NFL franchise. Dynasty Owner provides a unique challenge for die-hard fantasy football fanatics. Leagues are not forming now, but there's always orphans and things like that. Sometimes people drop out. Sometimes people have to be removed. So head on over to dynastyowner.com. You can use the code. Just go to dynastyowner.com/rewind. That lets them know that we sent you. And make sure you tell Tim I said hi. So that is enough of that for right now. So welcome to week 5, everybody. Welcome to the Dynasty Rewind. I know we are a dynasty-based podcast, but we can still help you out in season 2. To my right, I guess, I don't know how it is on your screen, we got Chev and Nooney. How's it going, Chev?
It is going great. I had a rough week at work just trying to finish up sales for sports, but man, we had a bad little sewer problem here. The drain for the tub and the toilet just started overflowing, so got that fixed, but it's been a stinky one. But those bears didn't stink it up. And, I feel bad for wearing this jersey, trying to represent, because I know Porkman's feeling a little bit down about his Philadelphia Eagles. So while you guys are going through the rest, I'm going to change the jersey so he doesn't feel sad about this, okay?
Okay, no problem, Chef. Thank you. We're not too sad. They are in first place in the NFC least, as it's called. But Porkman, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I appreciate Chef trying to call me out. And first of all, his game was stinking too. That game was the dumpster fire, but hey, they got the win. So
is someone dropping depth charges or something, Nate?
It wasn't me. Sounds like a sonar. It's not me this time.
Oh, we got sonar.
Oh my god.
Terrible.
This is one of the greatest nights ever. Chev has had a Sonar Porkman shirt made up, and let me tell you something right now. If this was available for sale, it would be flying off the shelves like hotcakes.
Oh,
it's a beauty, boys.
It Terrible. Is. How's that fit, Chev? Does it fit nice?
Oh, boys, it's not as good as our shirts. I'll say that. But
I love the fact that you have your face on me. I have your face on you all day. So walk around. Actually, Dad'll buy that. So that's your dad.
Dad already paid me for it. He's already bought 5 of them. He's ready to wear it for the rest of the week. He's good to go, buddy.
And our good friend and former co-host Garrett Montavious Price checking in saying, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I will not let Denise see this, Garrett, because you'd be in the doghouse. But joining us tonight as well, we have Nate Christian. How you doing, Nate?
I am a little intimidated by Chev's mustache. So
Speaking of mustaches,
I think I'm going to have to work on the mustache to shave all the beard away and just go mustache like Chev.
Hey, mustache gang works, man. Troy is out here grinding with it. I know he's taking a lot of flag for it, but Troy, you're looking like an absolute beauty, buddy. Keep it up.
Yo, that jaw is thick, boy.
Super thick.
I love it, though.
Yep.
That's good stuff. Well, listen, I'm glad that everybody is back, and I just want to take a minute and share my screen if I could, because just a live look at Troy King right here, just kind of, what he does when he's not part of the fantasy football community. As you can see, he has a substitute teaching job. So, ladies and gentlemen, Troy King in the house. Troy, I want you to know I love you, man. That's all I got to say. So, Derek, how you doing tonight? Car Ramrod approved. Look at that. So, hey, let's talk a little bit about that Bears game last night, Chev. I'm sure you watched that, correct?
Yeah, I had to record it, but I did watch it, and I mean, it wasn't the best looking win. I mean, if you're looking for a guy to go out there and throw 300 yards and 3 TDs and win a game, it's not going to be the Bears. The Bears are going to thrive on that offense, or that defense, man, and just pray to God Khalil Mack can get 2 or 3 sacks in the game and save them a little bit. So it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. Allen Robinson went off. David Montgomery, man, he had those PPR catches, but that run game is brutal. So I really hope they can figure that out, because if not, we're not going to make it too far in the playoffs if we make it. So
I'm kind of skipping ahead here. Normally we talk some notes and injuries, but I want to talk about this game first. We need to have Cordarrelle Patterson stop being a thing, or have Nagy stop trying to make him a thing. 3 carries, 7 yards, no touchdowns. 3 catches, 38 yards, no touchdowns. He did catch all of his targets, but I just really would have preferred if those stats and those attempts went to David Montgomery. I think, and we do have a request from Travis Seal here. So this is Chev Nooney right here, one of the co-hosts of the Dynasty Rewind. That's a thing of beauty right there.
Yeah.
You brush that?
You want me to brush it? I don't brush this thing, man. It's has its own freaking soul, baby. It does what it wants. But Cordarrelle Patterson, though, let's talk about him. That guy on special teams is an absolute beast, though. He takes the ball out of the end zone almost every single time he gets it, and he still gets to like the 25 or 30 almost every single time. So if he does one thing really, really good, it's that. And he hasn't looked bad catching the ball, but it's definitely taken away from David Montgomery, and that kind of stings a little bit.
I just thought that once Tariq Cohen wasn't there, it would be wheels up for David Montgomery, and now they're just trying to make Patterson a thing that he's not.
I mean, that had to have been David Montgomery's best receiving game, though, or at least pretty close to it, I would assume. I mean, he had 7 catches. I don't feel like that he's done that yet, in my opinion.
He catch-wise, he had 8 targets, 7 catches, 30 yards. Yeah,
That sucks.
That's tough.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the Bears' running game as a whole, 14 carries, 35 yards, 1 touchdown. So, not great, to be honest with you.
Good thing he's on our Dynasty owner team.
Yeah, right.
Let's also talk some other guys here, some other studs. Tyler Johnson, I don't know if we want to call him a stud here, but looking good with his opportunities on 6 targets, 4 catches, 61 yards, no touchdowns, but 6 targets for a 6th-round draft pick. I mean, I think we all kind of had the same thought process throughout the offseason. He's buried on the depth chart there. He probably won't get a chance. Everyone thought it was going to be Scotty Miller. It was not. Tyler Johnson looking pretty good. What do you guys think about Tyler Johnson last night?
He looked like he belonged. I mean, he was buried in a depth chart, but I think that was just based off of his work ethic from, the issue from the Senior Bowl and all that stuff prior to the combine. But it was no doubt he can play. It was just the fact that, Bruce Arians don't play. If you don't, study the playbook and do what you have to do, then they're going to put Potty Miller out there. He played like Dookie last night. So.
Potty Miller.
Wow.
We also had Rojo going another game over 100 yards, 17 carries, 106, no touchdowns, 3 catches, 19 yards, no touchdowns, 5 targets. So let's also talk about his backfield teammate here, Keyshawn Vaughn. So he was involved. He didn't do too much. And I'll tell you what, we could just kind of piggyback off that. So the bet was Keyshawn Vaughn over under 5 points. I believe I took the under, correct? And I think actually Porkman's the only person drinking right now.
Well, that's fine.
No, Mike, you took the over.
You took the over. You did take the over.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just take a swig of beer. I'm sorry. I didn't have. Cheers.
Yeah,
That's what he did.
It should have been like, he died on that one play. He got killed. That shouldn't count.
He did.
His soul got knocked out of his life, and he couldn't play regularly. So, no, I'm gonna take a shot.
And our guest from Tuesday's live stream, Chase Vernon, he also took the over on that as well. So there was another bet we had as well, correct? And that was the prop bet was Tampa Bay wide receivers over under half a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the over on that. Pretty sure of that one. Correct?
Yeah, I know I took the over as well.
Yeah. So I think Chase is the only one that has to pay up for that. So he owes us 2 shots. He'll either pop in at some point or send me a video that I'll just go ahead and play for you guys there. So Nate, at some point tonight, I'm sure you'll think of a bet for somebody else on one of the primetime games.
Yep.
I want to also talk about, and I did have one of my friends text me tonight. Nate got a very nice comment. He was on point about Darnell Mooney getting involved and that these two are going to be tied hand in hand here. So Darnell Mooney involved, and all of my Anthony Miller shares seem to be taking a nice dump on my fantasy teams. So, Nate, if you could tell us about Darnell Mooney, and then Chev, I want your thoughts on Anthony Miller after that.
Yeah, so I talked about Darnell Mooney actually like on draft day when he was drafted. I said he could fulfill the Taylor Gabriel role in the Chicago Bears offense, and that's exactly what he's done right away, basically. Anthony Miller has not been very good. He had, a couple of touchdowns so far this season, kind of saved this season. But Mooney has looked explosive. Nick Foles missed him just once or twice, like on big plays down the field, but he was open and ready to catch the ball and make something happen. One of them was an easy touchdown that Foles just couldn't get to him. And he's like, we talked about Henry Ruggs. We talked about KJ Hamler being these smaller but very fast, quick playmakers you put on screens and get down the field. That's Darnell Mooney. He just went to a small school. That's why he wasn't talked about. But even with that small school resume, he was still picked, the 5th round, and the Bears like him. And he's got a role. I mean, by the end of the year, if he's not already, he's the wide receiver 2 on that team.
Okay. Chev, now your thoughts on Anthony Miller.
Yeah, and I was texting you, Mike, the other day. I think about it. I don't trust anybody on that offense right now other than A-Rob, and that even throws in David Montgomery too. And I told you maybe Jimmy Graham too. Jimmy Graham has been a guy that they've been targeting in the end zone a little bit, and he's been having some production. So I would definitely not be scared of starting him too, especially as a tight end. But Anthony Miller, man, is starting to look pretty sad. He's not getting out there as much. I think he was like 43% target or 43% snap rate last night, and that's not what I want to see. And with the inconsistency of the offense right now, I am not too excited for Anthony Miller in the next coming weeks. He would definitely not be touching my lineups, I don't think. I'm too scared.
There was actually one spot I had to start him. I had no other wide receivers that were an option. So, I mean, I guess it's better than a goose egg.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, and I saw there was one at one point he had a tackle and he got a catch, he got tackled, and he grabbed his shoulder again. And I know that was a history with his separated shoulder from last year and the year before. So that's something to monitor too. So it's really like the wheels up for Darnell Mooney, in my opinion.
The problem I can't give Anthony Miller away right now. I tried to send him to a bunch of guys in my one league for like 2/3, like one next year and one the year after, and nobody wants him. So I'm just gonna have to just hang on and see what happens. And Mitch says, Porkman is switching the burgundy curtains for a vintage quilt. Careful, that's the room with the poor internet. I think it is the poor internet room. Actually, the bad internet room was when he was at someone else's house. So
hence the sonar, Chef. Thanks.
Yeah, that was the sonar. And
can you make another one and then send that to me? Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's gonna be $45 million, by the way.
That's fine. Whoa. Pops is going to cover it for Porkman. So he's going to work some overtime. He's going to cover it. So does anyone have anything else to say? I do have one more thing. Gronk did have 6 targets, but 3 catches for 52 yards. Just had that one long run. Doesn't really look that great. I do want to talk about Tanner Hudson from Southern Arkansas. He's a second-year player. He did have 4 targets, only 1 catch for 9 yards, and his career receptions, 3 catches for 35 yards and no touchdowns.
Yeah, it was I was confused because I was like, who the hell is Tanner Hudson? I never heard of him before. Yeah. And he was getting uber targeted because I had a prop bet for a Cameron Brate score touchdown, and then all of a sudden I see Hudson
he did not
getting all these targets. But it's something to monitor. It's when Brady likes to target one person, he'll just keep peppering targets to him, and especially he was doing it all early and often. He just didn't do it a little bit later, so that might be a deep stash that you might be able to get for $1 or for free, honestly, and see how it goes. If it don't work, throw him back to the Wolves.
I'm not going to say he's going to be the next Robert Tonyan, but
so good.
Yeah. What about Brady forgetting how many downs that was, man? That was great.
Yeah. the dude's been playing since I was in high school, and he's still like, how do you not know that? And he still won't shake Nick Foles' hand either.
Yeah, and that was crazy to me because I tweeted that like y'all are all smashing Braun because he didn't go shake hands, and then Brady does it, and then like I looked up and he's done it with every single quarterback up to this point, but he didn't do it to old Nick Foles. So
Yeah, and this is the second time the Super Bowl he didn't shake Nick Foles' hand, and
interesting.
the funny thing is, he talked about it like the next or during the offseason. He's like, well, that was next time I wanted him to enjoy it. But my thought is, as a competitor, you came into the season as a backup, you probably want to shake the hand of one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time after you win the game. I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, if he does it behind the scenes too, I'm at the Super Bowl, that's totally fine. But after a game, just a regular season game, week 5 game, go shake the man's hand. Don't be a bum.
You just got to suck it up, right? Like for a little bit.
Maybe he forgot. Maybe he just forgot to go shake hands. That could be a thing. I don't know.
I highly doubt that this is what actually happened. As for our friend Trav, Big Dick might have dropped hammer on Giselle. She wouldn't be alive. Oklahoma Doug checking in, saying howdy. What's good, Oklahoma Doug? It's good to see you checking in. Hey, so let's talk some notes and injuries. This is the one I do not like. This Washington benches Dwayne Haskins, Kyle Allen to start. Not only did they bench Dwayne Haskins, he's the 3rd string quarterback. Drop foot quarterback Alex Smith is going to be the backup. All right, so normally we don't linger on this stuff. Not intended. We don't linger on this stuff too long, but a little too early in the season to bench Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah, let's hear from Porkman.
Yeah, it bothers me a little bit. No, because I am still a Haskins lover. I still do like him. I think he didn't get a complete fair shake.
No,
I mean, when you give him the guy 3 coaches in 2 years, what is he going to do? He's still learning. He was still 1 year starter in college. He comes in highly drafted to a dysfunctional organization with Dan Snyder. Gives him a new coach in Juan Rivera, and then when he signs Kyle Allen, it's like the writing was on the wall. So this year, he had really, statistic-wise with interceptions and turnovers, he had really one bad game. But playing Baltimore, I know watching the game, it probably didn't really look that good, but he still threw for 70% completion percentage, over 300 yards. I know he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he still made Terry McLaurin relevant. He threw the ball to Antonio Gibson and made him fantasy relevant. So what else did you want the man to do? It's like it was already predetermined in my eyes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Granted, he's not a great quarterback. I totally understand that. But at the end of the day, 4 starts, and that's what you're going to do. And then you relegate him to 3rd string and have the man standing by himself, humiliated, and give him no snaps.
I did hear
broke leg Alex Smith in. As much as it's like I'm not trying to disrespect the man, but he really shouldn't be playing football. His legs look like a literal twig.
I agree. And I had heard some people saying on some other podcasts that I listen to and respect as well, they're saying this could have been a behind the scenes thing. Like maybe his practice wasn't great, his preparation wasn't great. And I get that, but I think that you talk to him first and say, look,
right,
you lay it out. And then if he doesn't change his habits, then you make the move.
At least give him half the season. Don't give him the quarter. And tell me you're going to win the division. Bro, this division's garbage and you're garbage. Just keep going.
But how do you bench Dwayne Haskins and not Daniel Jones? Because for as bad as Dwayne Haskins has played, Daniel Jones has just been
worse,
turning the ball over like absolute crazy. So, yeah, I don't know.
What about Rosen? We're giving the pass to our boy here. But Rosen's had like 4 different quarterbacks and 4 different offensive coordinators, 2
Great
in
point.
his first rookie season.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I really feel bad for that guy. He really, really did not get a fair chance at all.
No, I feel bad for Rosen as well, but I mean,
Yeah.
you also couldn't pass on Kyler Murray as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
They
I
had
get
to
that.
trade him, and then when you go to Miami, and then they get rid of you again because they had to take Tua. I mean, I really thought he was going to the Patriots, honestly, but they have to really give him a fair shake somewhere. But at this point, the quarterback landscape is to a point where there's no more open spots.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And I'll say one more thing about it too. So Sam Darnold is probably going into a situation where his quarterback or his coach is going to get fired. So he's going to be in that situation where a new coach comes in. They might want a new quarterback as well.
It's true.
So that might be one person to watch coming into this next season.
Sam Darnold's good though. And
I like
when he's
Sam
not
Darnold.
throwing to the ghost.
All right, so moving on from that, Jets running back. Speaking of the Jets, Jets running back Le'Veon Bell could be active for Week 5. I don't know if I really feel comfortable playing him quite yet. That hamstring injury. Chargers head coach Anthony Lynn announces Justin Herbert will be starting quarterback moving forward. Shame the way it happened to Tyrod like that, to be honest with you, but Herbert's the right call. Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Johnson are back at practice. Nate, don't knock the table over, but it looks like they're going to be good to go for Sunday.
Wow.
All right, so Nate, I need your opinion on this. Lamar Jackson missed Wednesday and Thursday practice with knee injury or knee issue and an illness, but expects to play and is in fact 100% as per John Harbaugh. Is this anything we need to be concerned about with Lamar Jackson?
Not at all. They know what they have in Lamar. It's better to be conservative and keep him healthy than to risk anything. They don't need to, it can have RG3 run it. Lamar's fine. I know he's been a little rusty to start the season, but he's, taking responsibility. He was saying this week he's not happy with how the passing game has been so far this season. He says he's missed too many touchdowns to Marquise Brown, And sure, they've had their share of drops out there, especially against the Chiefs. But against the Washington football team, he had Marquise Brown on 2 or 3 shots down the field for walk-in touchdowns because he was behind the defense. So it is a little worrying, I think, just because they need to get on that same page for the passing offense. But at the end of the day, I'm really not worried about it. I'm not worried about his health. The second day was the stomach ache. I mean, come on. That's just like a vet rest day, basically.
Okay. All right. So Lamar's going to be good to go. Let's see. They put Joe Mixon on the Thursday injury report with a shin issue. I don't know. I think he's going to be okay. Henry Ruggs a full go. Calvin Ridley and Michael Thomas both limited. I did get an update before that. Julio Jones has missed 3 days of practice this week. So think of some sort of pivot there in case you have to go somewhere at the last minute. Okay, so this is kind of a weird one. The NFL has moved the Denver-New England game to the Monday night early game now, and Tennessee-Buffalo to Tuesday at 6 p.m., pending no further test for Tennessee, which I believe there was none today. However, if Tennessee and Buffalo were to be canceled, it will count as a forfeit, and neither team will get paid. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, I heard.
So you tell Josh Allen that he's not getting paid. And let's see. Oklahoma wants to know Jimmy G versus Finns or Carr versus number 2 pass defense in the league at Kansas City.
I'm going Jimmy G, man. I'm actually one of my starts is going to be Debo this week. I think he has a good chance to pop off.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And actually, I did have one here that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be starting this week. So I could see it being a long day for Mr. Carr out there in Kansas City. Don't forget, Week 5 buys are the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. So the Florida governor has decided to allow full capacity at sporting events. This is not a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm just glad the NFL or the team decided to not have a full stadium because it would be filled. As much as we don't think it would be absolutely filled to the brim.
Yeah.
Like they would all be there getting hype and spreading COVID like it was nothing. So thank goodness the Dolphins are smarter than Florida, apparently.
So after a presumptive positive COVID test, all Jets players were sent home from practice today. The test was a false positive, and their game will proceed as scheduled, which is against the Arizona Cardinals. No more positive tests for either Tennessee or New England, which is great. And that's all I have for news and notes. We already talked about Thursday's game. We already paid up our bets. Nate, do you have anything yet for our next one? Or are you still
do.
working on that? You do? Okay, great. Sean, pay attention.
All right. So Sunday Night Football, we got the Seattle Seahawks versus the Minnesota Vikings.
That should be a fun game.
It's going to be a good game.
Oof.
And as we know, Seattle, whenever they play, they pass the ball, and they have to pass the ball because their defense sucks.
Facts.
So, we're going to see Justin Jefferson looking good. We're going to see Adam Thielen looking good for sure. How about our boy DJ Dallas?
I knew you was gonna say that name.
DJ Dallas.
Okay, tell me about DJ Dallas. What do we got?
Former co-host Garrett Price is making some connections with DJ Dallas, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
So he's projected for 3.5 points PPR.
Do we know Carlos Hyde's availability?
Right.
Because if we did, I would feel much more confident saying the over. I think he
Listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Vikings, it says. That's the latest update.
You know what?
Officially limited.
I am going to take the over because I like drinking. So I'm going to do that. All right. So it is DJ Dallas over under what?
3.5 PPR.
And yeah, I actually meant to ask you, Nate. So when we do these bets, they're full point PPR, not half, correct?
Yep.
Okay, great. So over under 3.5. And then I'm just going to write this out.
That's a toughie.
They're still probably trying to watch snaps for Chris Carson, keep him healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Rashad Penny's not back yet.
A little homer.
You think he comes back?
Yeah, Homer as well. No.
Well,
Well,
I think
he
he
might.
does over
Once he gets
Homer.
healthy, yeah.
Okay. Chev, you got a
Is it full point PPR, right? I'm gonna go with the under.
port?
I'm gonna go with the over. F it.
Okay.
And Nate.
I'm going to go with the under.
Okay.
Hold on, let's ask Porkman again.
As much as I love DJ Dallas.
All right, so Sean is taking the
Love that
over as
song.
well. So Sean, if you are wrong, you have to come on the show on Tuesday night, do a shot. So okay, great. So DJ Dallas over under 3.5. Let's recap. I'm taking the over. Nate is taking the under. Chev's taking the under. Pork's taking the over. Sean's taking the over. So it's probably going to be the under because Nate seems to do really, really well at these. So
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be the over, but I'm taking the under.
okay, well, we'll see. I mean, I hope it's the over because I like DJ Dallas a
Yeah.
lot. I got him in a lot of places. So and just want to talk about places real quick. Some of the places that you have to make sure are taken care of. Look at that segue right there. So support for the Dynasty Rewind is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision. Nate always checks out when I do this. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. We all hate those snags and pulls and the looks of agony and the cries of agony when you're trimming. See, Porkman knows what I'm talking about. And that's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team, I can't talk. I'm sorry, Kyle at Manscaped. They spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Can you imagine doing that for 18 months? And they just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce manscaping accidents. Millions of balls are about to be nicked free. Thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology, manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past. When I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, so you can take a longer shave. Sean, please take note of that. You have some work to do. The water-resistant technology allows you to groom in the shower. By the way, I did try that out. It actually does work. I didn't get electrocuted. One of the coolest features is the LED light, which illuminates grooming areas for closer and more precise trimming. They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology. Don't do that with your diesel, everybody. You're going to blow it up. And let's not forget about the charging stand. It's there. If you're listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience a firsthand for yourself. So trim that junk of yours. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code PORK20 at manscaped.com. Your balls and we and Sean will thank you. Again, 20% off with free shipping and the code PORK20 at manscaped.com. I'm not going to say it again because you get the point. So, all right, let's talk some starts and sits. Actually,
moving the pair of nectarines.
I'll tell you, before we get to our starts and sits, Nate, let's talk about your Devy player of the week.
Yeah. So this offseason, everybody got super excited about Antonio Gibson because running backs who can catch are valuable in the NFL now. So not the same player as Antonio Gibson because Antonio Gibson's a big guy, but maybe in that Darren Sproles role, where a little bit smaller, but big pass catching ability. Demetric Felton out of UCLA with the Bruins. He was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. In his first 2 seasons, didn't do too much. He's a redshirt senior this year, but last year, 86 attempts for 331 yards on the ground, but 55 receptions for 594 yards through the air and 4 touchdowns. Set a school record with 4 scoring plays of at least 75 yards or more. 2 of those being a reception, 1 a run, and 1 a kickoff return. He ran for 111 yards against Oregon State and also had 9 catches. And he was a midseason All-American by the APA, and he's going into his senior year. We got the Pac-12 coming back. They play the first game. UCL plays against Colorado November 7th. And we're going to get to see this guy. And I think he's someone who's going to gain a lot of hype through the offseason. He has to show up this season because he's not a top running back prospect right now. But if he looks good catching the ball, he's going to get some of the same hype that Antonio Gibson got because he can go in and be a third down back right away and make an impact. And in fantasy football, we love third down pass catching backs. I mean, Darren Sproles was a good fantasy relevant running back for a long time because of that pass catching ability. So Demetric Felton, keep an eye out.
So if he gets the hype like Antonio Gibson, will he also fight Porkman on Twitter?
Probably not.
It's been a while, Porkman. You got to admit.
It has been. I'm proud of you, Mike.
But this guy's probably like a third, fourth, maybe even a 5th rounder in your rookie draft this next year.
Okay.
But he's got that high upside.
Yeah. So, and this is one of those things too, where when people tell you that the only picks that matter are 1st-round picks, that's not true. If you do your scouting correctly and you know how your team looks and you listen to this podcast, you will know, hey, I was trading back into the draft to get guys like, Joshua Kelly, and 2 years ago, Darius Slayton in the 5th round. So Joshua Kelly hasn't played out yet, but Darius Slayton has been starting on my teams since like week 9 last year. I just left him in there. So, all right, let's talk some starts and sits. Start and sits. Sorry.
Snips.
Starts and shits of the week. I'm going to start off here. I like Jamison Crowder versus Arizona. I think it doesn't matter who's playing quarterback, although it will be Joe Flacco this week. Razor Ramon making his first start since last year. Week 4, Jamison Crowder was 7 catches, 104 yards, and no touchdowns. I know the no touchdowns, but that's 17.4 points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's Julio Jones-esque. Not saying he's Julio Jones, but the type of stat line that Julio Jones would put.
Fun fact, Jamison Crowder on points per game in PPR is the wide receiver 4.
Really?
I believe it.
He only played 2 games this year.
Every week. Yeah, he's a must start. I mean, who the hell else catching the ball? Other than Jeff Smith and Lawrence Cager.
Yeah. Not like Run.
Not Herndon.
I love that. I know.
You know what, Chev? That's a great point because watching that last Thursday night game, not this one that happened yesterday, but 2 weeks ago, the one catch that Herndon had, it was like 1 catch for 11 yards. When he got the ball, he looks so good with the ball in his hands. He's so fast and he moves so well for how big he is, but they just refuse to get him the ball. And it's disgusting. Gaze needs to go, please.
It's just funny how he is the favorite target for Sam Darnold in the offseason, and then it's just nowhere to be found.
It's coach speak, man. Like, I'm sure you've heard so many things the Bears say, we're going to do this year. Nate, you hear the Ravens say we're going to do this. Like, Porkman, how many times did we hear, oh, we're going to see Brian Westbrook and LaShawn McCoy on the field together at the same time, and that never happened. So it's like it's all coach speak. It's all trash. So I don't know. All right, Nate, let's go to you for a start or a sit of the week.
All right. So I'm going to go with – I have a couple of names here. Who do I want to go with first? Honestly, Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah.
Even with Mostert coming back, I think Jerick McKinnon is going to play a role to play in Miami. So I think Mostert's going to be limited in snaps because they're not worried about beating Miami, I think. Even though Miami's looked pretty good, I think the 49ers are not going to be too worried about it with Jimmy G coming back and Mostert back and Debo getting into the rhythm. So I think they get an early lead, and they probably sit Mostert for the whole second half and let McKinnon and Wilson come in. I don't really like Mostert this week just because it's his first week back, even against Miami. So I think McKinnon's still a start this week, even with Mostert back.
Okay, I like that. Chev, you got anybody for us?
Yeah, so I'm ready. I'm ready to name this guy a starter in your lineups. Justin Jefferson. Get him in there. His snap shares are going up.
Can't sit him.
No, you can't sit him anymore. It's time to unleash him. It's time to get him in your lineups. Can't say the same for Van Jefferson at the moment. I think he's at a retirement home trying to rehabilitate some injuries right now.
Right,
but Justin Jefferson, over 100 yards the last 2 games. And I think this game is going to have to be one in the passing game for them. And I think Justin Jefferson is going to play a big part in that.
Chev, to kind of piggyback off what you said, I heard that Van Jefferson yelled at a cloud after choking on tapioca pudding while playing bingo at one of their retirement homes.
Dang.
How did you make that even up, Mike?
I don't know. Because it's true.
You're the one in the retirement home, you old hag.
You're older than me.
I'm not.
You look older than me. Porkman, do you have any starts or sits this week? I'm kidding. You're beautiful, Porkman.
I know I'm sexy. I have a start of the week. It is Teddy Bridgewater. He's playing the terrible Atlanta Falcons. That face is sexy as hell. I don't care what nobody says.
I will say I'm going to take partial credit for this shirt, just because that was one of the best Photoshop jobs I've ever done.
Yep.
It was perfect. It's just. It worked.
It is.
I'm sorry, Porkman. Go ahead.
No, yeah, Teddy's playing the Atlanta Falcons. I believe they lost like 5 or 6 cornerbacks this year. So they're just out there just rolling out complete and utter garbage. Obviously, we all know how Atlanta's been just a sieve in the secondary. Their linebackers haven't really been playing that well. And surprisingly, Teddy Bridgewater has been throwing for a lot of yards. Not to the person that we want him to throw the ball to, but he's making it work. So Teddy Bridgewater is a must start if you have him. If he's a free agent and if you had a streaming quarterback, I don't know what your situation is with all this COVID stuff going on. If you don't trust Josh Allen or whatever, but yeah, you got to go for Teddy.
All right, and Trav, fix your little picture by your name. Fix that. Come on. All right. So. I actually have a sit, and this kind of goes off what Doug was asking before. My sit is Derek Carr versus Kansas City. Kansas City is only allowing 212.8 yards per game through the air. Henry Ruggs is back, but Edwards is still questionable. We got Darren Waller, but Steve Spagnuolo, he can definitely scheme a player out of an offense. He knows how to do that pretty well. So I'm out on Derek Carr if you have a better option. Chev, do you have another start or sit?
Yeah, I have another start. I'm going to roll out DJ Moore this week. They're playing against the Atlanta Falcons. He's had a rough go of it at the last 2 weeks, and I really think he's going to have a good matchup going against those Falcons. It's just going to be super high scoring. Atlanta has just proven that they can throw the ball, and they kind of got shut down a little bit against Chicago. But I'm really excited to see that offense. Teddy Bridgewater is going off too, man. He's having a season that is not being talked about as much. But I know he's been slinging that rock around, and he's been making Robbie Anderson pretty relevant as well. So that's another guy to watch out for this week.
Yeah, I hate it because I was hoping PJ Walker would be a thing by now. But here we are. So sorry, I'm just in the middle of something here. All right, so Nate, let's go to you.
All right. So I'm going to say Golden Tate. I know that he has not had much production so far. In fact, the entire New York Giants offense hasn't had much production this far.
It's bad.
But they're playing the Cowboys. I want to start anybody going against the Falcons, the Cowboys, and the Seahawks. So Evan Ingram, great start. He's got like 8 to 10 targets like every game this season so far. Daniel Jones is peppering him. Darius Slayton is going to be good, but the offensive line is not good. So Daniel Jones is going to have to throw these short slants and underneath routes and die freeze. Okay, I'm back. He's going to be there for it. Golden Tate's going to get all these little passes. He's going to be a great flex in PPR, and he's definitely sitting on your bench somewhere or possibly even on your waiver wire at this point because someone got fed up with no production out of him. So I think he's a sneaky play this week.
It's funny you say that because the Giants defensively, they're only giving up 24 points per game. They're only scoring 11.8 points per game, so that doesn't help.
Oh.
But you look at the Cowboys here, and I just brought up on ESPN, the Cowboys are scoring 31.5 points per game and giving up 36.5
That's
points
outrageous.
per game. It is completely ridiculous. And Seth Robertson of the back row, Cowboys show is saying, start any wide receiver first, the Cowboys. You could even start John Hightower versus the Cowboys if you wanted to. Hey, Bob wants to know DJ Moore or Robbie Anderson this week. That's a good question. Now, Seth, DJ Moore is one of your starts of the week, but Robbie Anderson has been putting in the work. So, Seth, we're going to start with you on this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with DJ Moore. I think he's got a really good shot to have one of those blow-up games like he had in week 2, I believe. So I'm going to roll DJ Moore, but Robbie Anderson is not a bad play. I mean, he's making it happen every single game this season. So, and he seems to be like one of his favorite targets. So Robbie Anderson's a good play, but I'm going to roll out DJ Moore over him this week.
All right. You agree with that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with DJ Moore too. I know. I think he's just been missing DJ Moore because DJ Moore does have a whole lot of air yards. He just doesn't have the connections to go with them. Robbie Anderson has been getting, a little bit of like the little short targets that he's been taking, getting a little bit of yak. So I like DJ Moore.
Nate,
yeah. So far this season, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore almost have the same targets. But Robbie Anderson is catching over 80% of his targets, while DJ Moore is at like 50%. Just the connection's off. Like I said, the air yards are there. So it's going to happen here soon. But as much as my heart says DJ Moore, I have to say Robbie Anderson. So I trust the production until I don't see it. So I'll go Robbie Anderson this week. And, I mean, both can have good games against the Falcons. So.
Okay. Frank has a question. Traquan Smith, Jeff Smith, or Claypool? Of the 3, I'm going to go. Is there another option? Here.
It's funny because Jeff Smith actually looked hella good.
He did.
And the stats that he saw, Claypool he gets like 80% of the snaps. And Michael Thomas is. I mean, this looks like garbage, but this is what we look for.
But don't forget, Juju's good. Deontay Johnson's going to be back as well.
Yeah, but I mean, if they still put Juju in the slot, yeah.
Who's Darius Slay going to cover, Deontay or Claypool?
That's actually a really good question.
I would say he probably covered Deontay,
which makes me sad.
Yeah. If you that is a good point because I'll tell you what, I actually thought he was done for the year. I don't know if you guys saw the Eagles game, that helmet that he took to the knee.
Oh yeah,
he came back. I mean, I was really impressed by that. So if he's covering Deontay, it's gonna be not good. I actually didn't realize how good he was until I got to see him play. So fire up John Hightower this week, right, Porkman?
No.
Why do you? All right, I need to ask you this. Why do you hate John Hightower so much?
I just don't. You know what? I think it was just that one route that he ran where Wentz threw an interception in week 1. That don't piss me off, bro. Like, what was you doing? But that was it. That's the only reason why.
All right, so fantasy football intervention. He does say that Slay has Deontay this week. He just finished with DFS. He's on Johnson. So
that's what I figured. Unfortunately, so Claypool might be a good play this week because if Slay's covering Deontay, I hate to say it, but Deontay might not see much. So
yeah. So it's one of those things though. Deontay Johnson's a stud. So and Trav disagreeing with he's not good. So what I could say is if you're looking for a deep stash of lately drafted Eagles wide receivers, wait till Quez Watkins gets on the field. He's a hell of a lot better than John Hightower. That I can promise you. I like this.
Hey, I like John Hightower. Boise State, man.
He's all right. I'll tell you what. I like John Hightower better than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because
that's saying something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Garrett.
It's terrible. He's fine. Garrett's not here. Come on. Trav says Quiz is good too, but you're ripping on Hightower. Well, I'm the host. And Porkman's co-host. We could do that. We're all co-hosts here. So, all right. Porkman, who is up next for starter sit of the week?
I got a question for you, Mike.
For me.
Who are our starting linebackers for the Philadelphia Eagles, other than Singleton?
It's what's that dude's name? I think it's Duke Riley, the guy with the crappy hair, and I think it's Nate Gary.
So when you say I think, right, when we really don't know who the linebackers are, start the tight ends for the team. How about you just start us with Eric Ebron? Because George Kittle had 15 targets, 15 receptions for 5,000 yards and 8,000 touchdowns.
So the thing about that is
terrible.
They actually had Kayvon Wallace on Kittle most of the game I saw.
Yeah, they did.
Which was bad. They had this poor kid making his first NFL start.
Right.
Covering George Kittle. He just had to find his phone charger. Here he is. He's back. He's good.
I'm back.
No, start Eric Ebron. These linebackers are terrible. And if they do have Kayvon Wallace on him, I do love Kayvon Wallace, but again, he's a rookie. And Ben Roethlisberger is going to be looking for a big target in the red zone.
He's going to be good in a couple years as an IDP stash, but not yet.
Yeah, and like we said, if Deontay is getting covered by Slay, that's just another target he can go to, especially in the red zone and probably in the middle of the field as well.
Actually, fantasy football intervention. I'm curious. Can you tell us what is Deontay Johnson going for right now on DraftKings? I'm kind of curious if they take into consideration that I'm sure because you said that Slay is going to be covering him. So it's one of those things where if he's cheap enough, I mean, he could just because he's on Darius Slay's on him doesn't mean he can't still catch a touchdown.
You're right.
So he could still be like a sneaky DFS play to fill out your roster. So only if you bring me on the show. Well, how about you tell me and then maybe I bring you on the show? How's that sound? Porkman, did you get to your start or sit of the week?
I said Eric Ebron.
Okay, sorry. Well, you had bridged that off of a question that you asked me. So
no, I was asking with our lack of linebacker play, Eric Ebron should be a huge start this week.
Well, tell Chase to get on here and take his shots.
I sent him a Is that is Chase, right?
That is Chase.
I sent you the link. Sorry, I forgot. I sent you the link for you said, I'll come on and take the shots. I sent you the link. I DM'd it to you on Twitter. So there you go.
Two shots.
Yeah, he does owe 2 shots.
Good job, intern.
What was I going to say to you, Parkman? Something. Okay, real quick. I'm going to do this. I have one sit. This is real easy. Any Denver quarterback versus the New England Patriots. That's real easy. But I do have a start of the week, and it's Drew Sample versus Baltimore. I know most people aren't going to start any receiving targets against Baltimore, but Cincinnati, I think, is throwing it more than anybody in the league right now. They're going to have to do it in this game because they're going to be down early and they're going to be down often. He has 22 targets on the season. The last 2 weeks with what's the guy's name? CJ Uzoma out of the picture. He's seen 89 and 85% of offensive snaps. So he's on the field a lot. He's getting the targets.
Mm-hmm.
Would have had a touchdown last week if he could hold on to the ball.
Right. He's the second-year player. I'm not
targets. I like that.
Yeah.
It was really good defense, though.
All right. Who else has something else?
Well, I want to bring something up, ask you guys a question.
Sure.
So in the Dynasty Nerds Campus to Canton League, Garrett Price, the wonderful Garrett Price, is rebuilding already. and he said he was looking to trade everybody. And he said Nick Chubb is being traded at 10 p.m. no matter what to the highest bidder. And all day he's been updating everybody in the league with who has the highest bid without showing what the actual bid is. What do you guys think of this situation? Is that a good way to get rid of your plays? Have people go against each other and get the highest bid? Put it all out there?
Yeah.
I think it's very
Why not?
un-Garrett-like, if I
It
could be
is.
honest with you. Also, I want to welcome Chase Vernon back to the podcast. Chase, how we doing, my man?
What's up, guys?
What's
Got
up?
finished doing a 2-hour-long podcast with Rosalie Michaels for DFS.
Wow.
And, man, does that chick know her stuff or what? She crushes it, man. Rosalie
awesome.
Michaels is really, really good.
Yeah, she
Love
is.
that chick from DraftKings over there.
Yeah.
So we bounce off each other really, really well. And, there might be some stuff in the works for us. So we'll see what happens.
So listen, make sure you follow Chase over at FF Intervention. Great guy, great follow. We had a fantastic time with him Tuesday on this live stream right here. That was a lot of fun. That was definitely our longest waiver wire show ever. But look at you coming in and hanging out with us. So perfect. What are we drinking tonight, Chase?
I went with Eagle Rare tonight. I would have just gone with the cheap stuff, but it's upstairs. I don't feel like going to get it. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
going with Eagle Rare, which, I mean, it's still not expensive, but it's hard to get from where I'm from. So it's kind of a special occasions type bottle. But yeah, this is a special occasion because I lost not only one bet, but two.
You did.
So
That's rough.
you want to bring up what bet it was?
Sure. I will gladly do that for you right now. Okay. So there was two, obviously, like Chase said.
God.
So the first one was Keyshawn over under 5 points. You took the over. The second one was Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receivers versus the Bears defense over under half a touchdown, and you took the under.
Yeah, I mean, that hit that Keyshawn Vaughn took was brutal. And I think
It
it held him
was.
out for the majority of the game.
Mhm.
I don't think he played another snap until like the fourth quarter. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty
think so.
sure. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he didn't take another snap until the fourth quarter. So that was a little bit unfortunate. What did he finish with points wise?
0.5.
Okay, so we had one catch for no yards. Yeah, I screwed the pooch on that one. I think that he would have actually performed well if he was playing the whole game.
He was
that
getting
hit
some
was
targets,
hard,
so
man.
yeah.
Took the solo.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. So cheers to that one. Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Chase.
champ.
The second one was, of course, the one with I think Mike Evans had a touchdown.
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Correct.
And he dominated that entire game. He should have actually had a lot more touchdowns and receptions, to be honest with you guys.
Mhm.
He was the guy out there, and he was the way better receiver. And obviously, I didn't look into it prior to coming on the show, but Eddie Jackson, did a good job on him overall, but pretty much was pass interference every time he covered him. Meanwhile, on the other side, I think it was Fuller. He just had fits, and the safeties didn't do a great job on him either. I don't know what he finished with yardage wise. I just haven't looked back
It
at
was
the
like
stats.
45 yards and a
Yeah.
touchdown, like 5 receptions.
Still startable.
Yeah, it was startable, but because of the touchdown, and that's the only reason why. That defense over there is very good, but the pass interference, the penalties that is going on between those two teams is
that was goofy.
crazy to me.
Yeah.
It was very similar to what Monday night game, which had a ton of penalties too.
Yeah.
It's just that's not what you want to see on TV, and it ruins games. And honestly, that game last night was probably, although it came down to be a nail biter, watching the game was just painful. Like I didn't enjoy the game. There wasn't a lot of plays that I'd like to see. I mean, we saw players get crushed, which is fun to watch on, like that Keyshawn Vaughn thing is going to be fun to watch in months from now, like on a highlight reel. But outside of that, like, it's not what I really want to see. I like good defensive battles too, by the way. But that one was just bullshit because you're getting to third downs and then they were getting
Flag.
15-yard penalties.
Yeah.
And
Half
that's
of
not what
third
I wanna
downs were
see.
like 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 3rd and 27 every time I looked up.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Chase, Sean wants to know if you want in on our DJ Dallas prop bet for this week.
What's that prop bet?
DJ Dallas over under 3.5 points, and this is full point PPR.
What's up with the 3.5 points, the 5 points? Why are we messing around with those prop bets?
So okay,
Dude, do
Yeah, we
websites
could
even
fund
have
your
these
way.
prop bets?
this is courtesy of Nate. Whenever we do the bets, he picks up the Thursday night game, obviously, because everyone's watching that, and then he picks a primetime game, either Sunday or Monday night, and he just finds a really nasty, scrubby bet where it makes everybody go,
Okay.
oh. So, but it keeps it interesting. I'll say that.
You couldn't even go with Homer. You had to go all the way down to DJ Dallas.
All the way down. Oh, that hurt my soul.
Dude, DJ Dallas in the offseason, by the way, looks sick with his ability to catch passes. So I don't want to take that away from him. But I mean, he's like, is he even gonna get snaps? I'm trying to pull him up right now on Roto World to see what his snap counts have been.
Yeah, he had 2 receptions last week, I believe.
So 2 receptions right there puts you at 2 points.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz was hurt,
Good
right?
math,
Like
Mike.
to an extent.
He doesn't play for the Seahawks, and he was fine.
Hey,
Wait,
he took
who did I
2
say?
shots.
You said Carson Wentz.
Wait, who did I say?
You said
said
Carson
Carson
Wentz.
What did I say? Carson what? Chris Carson. Sorry, Carson Wentz. We had a conversation about Chris Carson, right, and his rushing yards.
Okay.
No, so let me see his snap count. He's had did not play 0 offensive snaps, 11 offensive snaps.
See, you could do a lot with 11 snaps, and think
Hey,
of what it'll be next week.
He had
3
4
points last week.
Oh, so this is half point PPR for you guys.
Full
Oh,
point.
no. Full point.
Full points 4.3.
Look at that.
He had 2 receptions for 15 yards. Wait. Yeah, and 2 rushing attempts for 8 yards.
All right. Looks like an easy over then, huh?
Oh no. I don't know if I want to touch this one.
See, Nate, I'm gonna give Nate credit. He always picks really, really good ones. Like you're always.
This is a good one. God, you couldn't even go to like Chase Claypool or something where there's like a possibility of an upside play. Oh man, I'll take the under, and I hate saying it.
That's
saying
what I
it.
took.
Under. Travis Homer had 17 snaps. DJ Dallas had 11. Oh god, that's gross. They're up against Minnesota. I believe Minnesota's actually pretty good up against the pass catching running backs. I could be wrong. I didn't look much into this game, but yeah, I'm gonna go under. He might not even have a target.
Okay.
But
Great.
if he
So-
does, it's 3 points. So what the hell?
All right, so
You're going to need at least 2 targets.
just
Oh
to
my God.
recap it again, I took the over, Nate took the under, Chev took the under, Porkman took the over, Sean took the over, and Chase took the under. So we may or may not be seeing Chase again on Tuesday night. So who knows?
I'm looking at these snap counts. Oh my god, this is like the ugliest prop bet you could find in the entire NFL. I credit you, my friend. I credit you for finding the ugliest prop bet I've ever heard in my entire life.
Listen,
Thank you.
I thought
We
of
do.
I thought of a drinking game that will give you cirrhosis.
I already have it.
Oh, God.
Every you have to take a shot every time Carson Wentz completes a pass to somebody who wasn't drafted.
That's not
Oh yeah, I think you
fair.
brought that up. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
So you're not
Good.
going to make it, man.
Oh,
I didn't
man.
want to go with attempted a pass to an undrafted wide receiver because they don't.
How
catch
many
them.
points is Ertz gonna have this week?
Hopefully more than whatever he had last week. 4.9.
Oh man, that was rough to watch. I
can't-
expected him to go off with Goddard out, and it just was not the case. He must have been just getting smuggled out there, just having people all over him.
Yeah, he can't separate anymore. But also, Alshon Jeffrey is still out this week, and that's not related to his foot injury. That's actually an illness, as per Doug Peterson. And I think I saw Deshaun Jackson might have gotten ruled out tonight too.
Yeah, he's out as well.
Okay, and there was a possibility for him to play. So we're rolling out Travis Fulgham and
Hightower.
John Hightower again.
Hey, Fulgham's from right down the street. So Fulgham's one
Is
of my buddies.
Is he from Bayou? Really?
Yeah, yeah. He
Oh,
went
that's
to ODU. Both him and his counterpart were drafted or brought in by the Detroit Lions. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he wasn't brought in, or he's not in the NFL right now. But Fulgham, who was a 5th round pick, I believe, by the Detroit Lions, is with the Eagles, and he performed last week, man. He performed, and he's a good receiver. He actually is very good. He's just very raw. He needs to develop a little more, and he's been proving that he can develop.
Caught a touchdown. Seth Robertson of the back of Cowboy Show said, "Let's go Pittsburgh." I would like to take a moment to say, "Go fuck yourself."
Dude,
none of that-
how bad is Pittsburgh going to beat the Eagles this week?
Well,
Like,
Chase,
how red is the Eagles' ass going to be?
seeing as I'm an
spanked?
Eagles fan, I don't know. But they have a tendency to win games that they aren't supposed to, and then they can't beat Washington. Like, that's just how it goes with this team. So.
Washington's got a really good D, though, and that offensive line was banged up tremendously up against you guys. Like, they honestly, I had that as my number one upset of the week. And I'm a Washington Post fan. I'm not a fan of them anymore, but just knowing them.
You've upset Trav. So. look at that face. I mean, Trav, he can never be dead to us. He's a beautiful man.
Oh, stop it. You're just flattering me.
Chase, what is your best bet of the weekend?
That more unders are going to happen than overs. So we saw an offensive explosion over the first few weeks. And I did an article in the offseason talking about COVID versus the lockout.
Mm-hmm.
And, I came up with the fact that we're going to have a shit ton of injuries. Like, it was up 300%. But I dove into every little nook and cranny. I dove into offensive line. I dove into free agents added at the offensive line position. I dove into 5th round offensive linemen that were drafted to see if any sacks would go up. I literally, it took me 11 hours worth of research to put this article together. And I every single nook and cranny. And I didn't see any. I got you, man. No worries. T-Seal. You're good. I went into every aspect that I could, and the only thing I come up with was injuries. There was a small increase in offensive output, but nothing like that was like notable. And then we see this year explode over the first 3 or 4 weeks with offensive, just output. But then I went back and I was like, dude, there's no way that my research was that wrong. There's no way that numbers could jump like that. Like, I understand that offenses are getting better. I understand that certain things are happening, around offenses. There was an influx of talent at the wide receiver position, skill positions. So that will have an effect as well. However, there's no way that it's leading to this much of a differential in points from last year and the start of last year. And then I looked at the schedule, and I never took the schedule for this year into account. There are some of the best teams like the Cowboys and the Seahawks and the Falcons who have the best offenses. And they're faced up against these, and they're actually paired with the worst defenses, right? Like, you have the best offenses, you have the worst defense. Meanwhile, these teams are getting to play each other over the first 4 weeks of the season almost every single week. It was insane. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely insane. Atlanta, the Seahawks, Seahawks and Cowboys, right? Like, we saw Atlanta Falcons at Green Bay. Like, this is insane. Like, what was happening? So the scoring in Vegas has actually improved the point totals because people have been betting on the overs because the overs are happening. Mm-hmm. But we go to look into it this week, and there's a few question marks I have, like Dallas up against the Giants. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that could be that high scored because the Dallas Cowboys could go up early. Daniel Jones could turn the ball over 3 times, and you're looking at, a 25-7 game. Like, it's very possible. It's a random thought. It's 25. I don't know how I got with 25 points, but
yeah.
The Cowboys might not need to score, so maybe there's 10 field goals kicked. That's how I got there, or 8 field goals kicked. Or something. Anyways,
it's field goals
or 6 field. I don't even know.
A couple safeties thrown in there.
Thrown it, yeah. However, we got to 25 points.
They're going to score 25 points this week now. I got to feel
it. This is so weird.
Put your money on that. You heard it here first from Chase, everybody. So
like 6,000 to 1.
I'm actually thinking more of like 32 points, but either way, it's going to happen. No, it's like there's just so many different games where the scores actually could be lower. Another one is Arizona and the Jets.
Yeah.
Arizona might only need to score 3 touchdowns in order to win this game.
They might only need to score 3 points.
It's very possible, even with a bad defense. It's very possible.
A touchdown too, probably. Throwing 7 for them.
God, everybody's saying that, man. I feel like I should go into DFS and put more money in on Carolina's defense. I mean, on Arizona's defense.
Go for it. Do it.
But I don't know. I mean, have you guys seen that? Like, do you guys see how many high-scoring games do you guys see like that are gonna hit that over?
Yeah, and I don't think the Panthers are going to hit the over. I think the Panthers have a better defense than we've been giving them credit for. And
they drafted 7 players on defense. Every single one of their draft picks were defensive players.
That's crazy.
I think that game will be lower scoring than people expect.
What if Atlanta, who has hurt wide receivers all over the place, right? They hold Julio Jones out, and they don't want the Panthers to have opportunities to score. What are the chances that Gurley has 22, 23 carries this game? Edo Smith has like 3 or 4. You have Brian Hill, who has 4 or 5. What are the chances that happens? Because they don't want that offense to be able to score on them. Then they want to run down clock.
It's possible.
It's a possibility.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just I just think we're going to see a lot lower scoring week this week compared to other weeks, and it's far from a guarantee. I don't want to sit there and say like, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen. This is more of an observation as to what we saw over the first 3 weeks. And we have like 8 games for the over-under being over 50 right now. So,
if the Bears are playing, then never take the over, please. Don't do it.
Man, that Bears defense is ridiculous.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, hey, Chase, thanks for stopping by. We're at about an hour and 5 here, so we're going to wrap it up. We actually do have one thing we need to do, 2 things before we need to do. Porkman, do you have a greasy take of the week for us?
Yes, I do. It's a
Don't be too
excited. Shut up. You can't be excited for these terrible picks.
Look how excited you are.
I don't know what I was doing actually.
I love that.
All right, so Chef, we got to Chase one of those shirts, man.
I'll work
Yeah,
on
we
it.
do. He got to wear that.
Dude, I'll rock it. I'll rock it.
So,
You will.
I was thinking about some terrible players that might actually make something this week, and I had a little small observation. Trey Burton was getting a good amount of targets in the first half, so my greasy take of the week is Trey Burton will be a low end tight end 1 this week.
Okay, so Trey Burton and Ebron are going to go off.
Yes.
I would
Ebron's
say
on the Steelers too.
Oh, yeah, that's my fault.
Yeah, but I would take Ebron.
I was like, where is he going with this? Is he just saying that because they're both tight ends?
Oh,
Right.
That's on me. I'm sorry.
The Trey Burton one makes me want to throw up, but
I know, but last week made me want to throw up too, and it came up. So
all right.
What's the snap count with Doyle?
I don't know, but he's not playing well at all. When he came back when he played last week, he's not getting anything. And if Garrett Price cuts you, you must be bad.
That's true.
I mean, Doyle's probably being used as a more inline blocker, so that makes sense for the move tight end to actually be that go-to guy. So, oh my God, this is crazy. All right, so the snap count for the tight ends, 45 snaps for Jack Doyle, 33 snaps for Mo Alley Cox, and Trey Burton had 36.
Wow.
I'd bet you anything that Mo Alley Cox is being used as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
he has. Like he's not a tight end anymore. He's a wide receiver.
Put him in the slot.
No, he's not. He only has 24 snaps out of 146 in the slot. They are literally using him as a tight end. They're using all these guys as tight ends. This is insane.
That's what the Bears should be doing. They have like 25 tight ends. I mean, we should be doing the same thing.
I'm mind blown right now.
They were force feeding Burton last game. Like they were trying to get him the ball. It wasn't really happening, but they were force feeding him.
And I think this was his first game back, so I think they were trying to get him acclimated to the offense. So there is some sort of script for him to succeed, but they just gotta get him into game shape. So I think this week he'll score a touchdown, which will make him a tight end. Shut up, Mike.
Yeah.
Jack Doyle's like the most blue collar guy. Is there more blue collar tight end than Jack Doyle? And is there a more opposite version of that than what's his name, Burton?
Hey,
Jack
threw a
Doyle's
touchdown
very blue
to
collar.
Nick Foles.
Do a touchdown.
That was 3 years ago. What have you done for me lately? So
He got hurt. He has anxiety issues, Mike. Have a heart.
Wow. I'm a heartless prick. So that's how that works.
Okay.
In case you're wondering. All right. So before we have out, Chev, I think you have something for us.
Yeah, it's nice to know Porkman woke up an hour and 9 minutes into the pod. So I got.
What's your face?
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a lot of men right there.
All right, here we go. Are you done interrupting the Lord?
What?
All right, I'm gonna go with Isaiah 54:17. It says, "No weapon that is fashioned against me shall succeed. You shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment." So there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna call you out. There's a lot of people that are gonna talk down about you, but you don't need to be doing the same thing to them. You need to be just getting away from it, trying to stay away from people that are gonna talk to you like that, and you need to find a way to not think down on them as well. Think high on them, think positive about them, and try to get them to make better choices. But don't follow the same actions as them. So be better. Be better than what the people are acting to you.
All right, Chef, thank you very much. And I want to say
That
thank you
hits
again.
close to home. That hits close to home with everything going on right now.
It
Love
does.
that, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Chase, thank you again for stopping by. I always love when you hop on with us. You know you're welcome here anytime. Whenever we're recording, you want a link, just let me know. So, Chase, again, where can I find you on Twitter until we see you again, hopefully on Tuesday to take some more shots?
Yeah, am I doubling up on the shots? Oh, man. All right. It's at FF_intervention on Twitter. You guys can also find my content on linktr.ee/fantasy intervention. We also have a lot of big stuff going on right now for fantasy intervention. So if you're listening and you want to be a part of it, reach out to me, please. There's some big stuff happening, and I'm really, really excited about it. I'm stoked. I'm stoked.
Cool. We're excited for you, Chase.
Yeah,
Chase is stoked. So are we. So should you be. Nate, where can we find you on Twitter until next time?
You can find me at Nate NFL. It's pretty simple.
All right. And I promise you, his content is not as generic as his Twitter handle. Porkman, where can we find you on Twitter?
Find me at FF Porkman.
All right. And Chef, where can we find you in that beautiful mustache and beautiful shirt on Twitter?
You can find me at Chef Boyardee, boy with an I. And if you want shirts, we got the
Hit him
Porkman
with the
shirt
full
now.
screen, Mike.
Yeah, hit me with the full screen, Mike.
All right. Hold up 1 second.
If you want one, let me know. We might be able to make it happen. I don't know.
Look how sexy that face is. Yeah.
We gotta see how much it costs to actually make them Johns. But if you want, Sean, I want a screenshot of that shirt right there, please. Thank you much. You can follow me on Twitter at DMBauer85. I would much prefer you follow the show at Dynasty Rewind. Until Tuesday, we do our waiver wire live stream. Remember, live stream only. That is not a pod release. Till then, be kind. Please rewind. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you Tuesday.